Today, we are going to ask and answer the question, how much risk can you take when it comes to your investing? The reason I've got this laid out this way is because the word can, C-A-N, is really an acronym. The first letter, C, what does that stand for? That stands for capacity. Let's imagine that you go talk to a financial advisor. No, you talk to 10 financial advisors out there. When you talk to those advisors, probably 8 of them or even 9 of them, before they invest your money, they're going to ask you to fill out something called an RPQ, which stands for Risk Profile Questionnaire. You know, they ask you questions like, hey, what's your time horizon, your investment time horizon? You know, when the market goes south, are you more likely to buy more stock, sell stock, or just hold on? If you said, hey, why do you want this information? Why are you asking these questions? They're going to give you reasons. But at the end of the day, there's only one reason that they're asking for that. And it's because you have to understand this, the big brokerage firms, they make money on risk. The more risk you take, the more money they make on your account. They make money taking risk. And so what that questionnaire does is it tells them, here is the maximum amount of risk that they can take with your money without losing a court case when you sue them for losing too much money. So if it's 2008 and you're down 40% and you're mad at them, so you say, that's it, I'm going to sue you, you took too much risk with my money, they're going to whip out that document. You know, they go to court, they whip out that document and say, oh, no, look, you know, Joe and Mary, look, they signed off. They took this questionnaire. We just did what they asked us to do. The minute you do one of these, you have absolved them of any responsibility really when it comes to your money. Let's say that you score out as a kind of middle of the road investor. You're a moderate. You're on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means you're super conservative and 10 means you're super aggressive. You're like a 5 or a 6. This might surprise you. If you score as kind of somewhere in the middle, that risk profile questionnaire says to that company, you know what, this person, they are comfortable losing about 35% of their money in a 12-month period. If I'm like a 5 or a 6, that sounds like an 8 or a 9 to me. No, that's about what the financial industry categorizes a 5 or a 6. Like a balanced investor can lose 35% of their money in a single year. They did in 2008. Now the next one, A, what does that stand for? A stands for attitude. Well, what does attitude mean? Well, how about this? Okay, you kind of call yourself moderate, like you're not conservative, you're not aggressive, you're kind of in the middle, moderate. And it's a really bad year in the market, and you start seeing your account going down. How far does it go down before you start calling me and start getting worried? Well, most people who are in the middle, they would say, maybe 15%. So what does that mean? You got $1 million, you might have more or less, it's just to make the math easy. A risk profile questionnaire says on $1 million, you can lose 350 grand in a single year. But you're sitting there saying, no, I'm in the middle. Like maybe 150, it starts going more than that, I'm starting to freak out. Which of these numbers is more important to you? The amount of loss that the financial industry says you should be able to, they're like saying, hey, we did a risk profile questionnaire, you should be okay losing 35%. Is that more important to you? Or is it more important to you that you say, no, internally, if I lose more than 15, I'm going to go crazy. What you think about your money, is more important than that. I don't care what the financial industry thinks. I only care about what you think. And you're saying, oh, Mike, that tracks. I get it. I shouldn't take that much risk. I should take this much risk. Getting closer. But wait a minute. We have one more letter here. We have an N. What does that stand for? That stands for the word need. As a fiduciary, I come at this a little differently. I'm going to ask this question. How much risk do you need to take in order to make all your financial goals reality. What if it was 5%? What if, when running the math, I was able to tell you, look, that's too aggressive. You don't need to take on that much risk. You can make all your dreams, all your financial goals reality, and a bad year would be a 5% loss. Now, you might not make 10% a year like you might up here on average over time. You might make only 7, but maybe you don't need to make 10% a year. Maybe 7% a year is plenty, right? As a fiduciary, I'm going to come from the bottom up. See, the financial industry is trained. All the big firms are trained to take a top-down approach. They start up here and they hope they never have to leave it. Right? It's how it works. That's just a measurement to determine the maximum amount of risk you should take. I don't care about maximum risk. I care about the bottom up. What's the smallest amount of risk that you need to take? If I could make this number 0, if I could say, look, you can invest your money where you never ever lose a dime, and you're still going to make all your dreams happen. In today's low interest rate environment, do you think we can get away with that? Almost never, right? Almost never. But that's the point. Start with need, the N, not with the C. So how much risk can you take? Financial industry says this, you say that. Fiduciaries, they focus on the bottom. That's this week's episode. See you again next time.